Hey guys, and welcome back to the Tara Show. Last week we talked all about the super controversial game Hatred and what I thought about it. Let's talk about what you guys thought about it and post it down in the comments. M. Throw said, "My son had a controller in his hand from the age of 2. He played every kind of game there is right alongside me. He is now an adult and he is well adjusted, has a steady job for more than 8 years at the same employer, and has never committed any kind of crime. It's not the game or the movie or the reading material, it's how they're raised." I totally agree with this. I mean, how can you not? So that's the comment that I'm going to post that agrees with me. I'm going to post the rest that don't agree with me because I feel like most people agreed with me, but I want to address the naysayers more than I want to address the people who agreed with me because to me this topic was just obvious. So next is Alice Ward. "If you cannot defend freedom of speech of the people you disagree with, then why the hell would you expect them to do the same for you? That's my opinion. Not my type of game though. I'm an RPG player." So I feel like this comment could have gone both ways. I don't know if she's sticking up for the fact that I say we should have a freedom of speech or if she's sticking up for the fact that the people that are naysaying should have a freedom of speech. But I firmly believe that both sides should have a freedom of speech when it seems like the negative side, though, is kind of trying to sign petitions and make things not be able to happen. So that's the problem that I have with it. I'm totally fine with you saying that Hatred is gonna start a world war or something, but I'm not okay with you changing the rights of the people who developed Hatred and whether or not they can make the game at all. PokeBrandon HD said, "Overall, Hatred should be rated A for adult. Don't want some 8-year-old to be absorbing such violence." Well, this seems like it's kind of common sense. I disagree with it. Personally, I believe that sheltering your child is the wrong way to raise them. You should teach them morals and values and let them see things that they're not necessarily supposed to see with you so that they can be taught how to absorb those things. So like our first commenter said, if you show these things to your child at a young age, but you're there to be able to guide their thoughts about it and tell them what's right and wrong, then there should be no problem. Sheltering just leads to problems along the way. When I was young, I was able to watch gory videos, sex, whatever I wanted to, as long as I knew what it was about and what was actually going on. And I wasn't just left alone to fend for myself and make my own delusions. Okay, this week I want to talk about how casual the regular gamer is. Every year there are a bunch of games making a ton of sales, and 99.9% of these games are from things like Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed, or things that are just kind of franchises that are following along a path of number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. Everyone just keeps buying number 2s after number 1s and so on, and doesn't leave very much room for the new gems and the indie games or anything like that to get a new name for themselves. If you liked the first game, why not buy the second game? Of course this is logic, and it's kind of lazy logic when you think about it. You don't have to read any reviews, you don't have to think about it, you just kind of know that if the first game was good, the people that made it are going to make another game in the franchise that is probably just as good, if not better. I feel like this is completely fine, and I do it on a regular basis as well, but I still do like searching around for new games that just sound interesting, because I like to keep my horizons open. I don't want to just be stuck to the 3 franchises that are my favorite. But I feel like a lot of gamers kind of do this, and it does suck for indie developers or games that are trying to get their names out there. This is why on my personal channel, I like to try out a bunch of different video games. It doesn't have to be the really huge ones, and I don't often do Let's Plays of the really huge games. I like to give some insight and publicity on the games that not everyone is playing.
Dicks! How is that an invalid expiration date? It's 1982, not 1983. I'm losing credits. I'm not going to be able to feed my family.
Games like Far Cry 4 and Dragon Age Inquisition might not be influenced by the things that I'm talking about here. These two games just have really good brand recognition, and especially with Far Cry 4, it seems like they had a really good run with their last chapter. Let's think about the game Escape Dead Island. It's a psychological horror game that's set in the same universe as Dead Island and Dead Island Riptide, but offers a completely different experience. And unfortunately for this game, it's coming out around the same time that Dragon Age Inquisition and Far Cry 4 are coming out, so I don't know if it's going to be able to stand a chance. And when you think about it like this, it totally puts into perspective games like The Evil Within or Sunset Overdrive, because they're totally not going to reach an audience like Call of Duty will. Even though Call of Duty might be the worst game, well, it's going to be the worst game, because The Evil Within looks freaking amazing. It makes me wonder whether or not developers kind of get lazy with franchises like Call of Duty, as the last Call of Duty Ghosts just kind of sucked. Or maybe the extreme mainstream games just aren't as appealing to me as games like, Shadow of Mordor. Because there are a ton of great games that come out, and sure they get some, play and some publicity, but most people are just going to stick around for the Assassin's Creeds and the Call of Duties. And as someone who thinks Assassin's Creed is one of the best franchises of all time, I still feel bad for the smaller games that are just amazing. I would love to see some indie games get more mainstream attention. Something like Minecraft that isn't completely pointless. Sure, there are a ton of indie games out there that have like kind of a cult following, and if you're a hardcore gamer, you've heard of them, but they're not going to get on the level of Call of Duty. And you guys can't argue that. So let me know down in the comments what you guys feel about this. Is there any game in particular that you guys feel like you want to become mainstream? Do you feel like when games become mainstream, they kind of lose that niche that you guys love about them and lose a lot of awesomeness. I feel like if Call of Duty stayed as like a cult classic and not as a mainstream game, it would be a lot better each installation because the developers would care more because they wouldn't just be relying on the name Call of Duty. So just post what you think down in the comments and I'll pick a couple of you guys to talk about what you thought in next week's show. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you check out more of my personal channel down in the description. Bye guys!